Morning. Hello, check. I think I am all good here. Somebody's on. Hello. Welcome. Hi there. Hi, Eric. Welcome. I'm going to wait a couple minutes to get started. We'll wait for some folks that maybe are sleeping in or getting here in a few minutes. I am trying to print out my lesson. We're talking about All Saints Day. Hi, Alice. Thanks, Eric. Good morning. We don't have no kids here yet, so we're waiting a couple minutes to see if they jump on. I know the time change can be funny for families, so even though we're falling back, it still can be funny with kids' sleep schedules and all of that good stuff. But I'm glad you all are here. Thank you for being here. I am just waiting until see if we get a couple kids. I mean, I'm happy to still do the lesson. I guess people might watch it later. So I don't know if you guys all want to be good sports and answer my questions here. We'll wait a couple more minutes if that works for everybody to see if any kids jump on. Hi, JT. Welcome. Oh, YouTube Premiere's being funny too. Huh. Yeah. So, JT, I was just explaining to everybody that I'm glad you guys are here. There are no kids here yet, and it sounds like YouTube has some funny things going on with daylight savings. And I was telling the other folks that even though we're falling back, families' schedules can still be, especially kids, can just be a little funky, even though we're sort of gaining an extra hour of sleep. Yay! Awesome. Oh, I'm understanding now. So the actual church service is right now. But we got started on the actual church service, which is right now. Yeah. Oh, should I still go? Should I still do this right now? Well, I hate to pull people away from one or the other. I don't know if Matt has a thought about this. Because what I could do is come back at 10:30 and do a kids service then. Do it now? Great. I'll do it now. All right. Well, welcome everybody. Okay, Matt's trying to. All right. Well, I'm glad you all are here. Forgive us on our quarantine version of handling daylight savings, but I'm glad you are here. If, especially for Patrick and Donal, which I hope are nearby, if you want to share got it. Okay, thanks, Matt. If you want to share a high and a low from your week, we would love to hear from you. And of course, as always, other folks are welcome to jump in. Hi, Kim, welcome. But we would especially like to hear from Patrick and Donal about what a high from your week was and what a low from your week might have been. . I guess YouTube didn't automatically change their time clocks. It sounds like the church service got started at the what feels like 10:30, but is actually 9:30. Oh, I'm so glad. So it sounds like Donal and Patrick said that a high from their week was the Halloween family backyard gathering yesterday, and maybe they did another Halloween thing in the evening at home. What did you guys end up doing? Oh yes, and tell everybody what they dressed up as. That would be awesome. Wizard Princes. And Anne, am I right in recalling that this is from a book or a series? Tell us, for those who know, like maybe everybody already knows where those characters are from. I was trying to print out my pictures here and they are not, my printer is not cooperating. So I may not have pictures to show you guys today, which I'm really bummed about, but what I can do, my printer is not cooperating, but what I can do is I have these pictures and I have a link. So if you want the link, especially for the Wilmers rather, I should say, please shoot me an email and I'll be happy to send the link with these little pictures on them. All right, so it sounds like the Dwelmers went on a walk and got most of their candy out. Most of our candy from outside. His is the fruits of Donal's mind. Gremlin Sabotage, is that where these characters are from, maybe? Or is that, yeah, Eric's responding to that. Yeah, okay. Getting candy from outside. Yeah, right. And measuring your candy with, your various trick-or-treating buddies, trick-or-treating, whatever that looked like this year. I turned into my street. I think this is probably one of my highs for the week. I turned into my street yesterday coming back from the backyard gathering, and there was a lady, one of the moms in our neighborhood, who was wearing a giant blow-up suit of a unicorn. And it was like so tall, it was hitting the trees. It was very hilarious. And it was like a Bubble Boy costume. So it was like, had a shield over her face and everything. And it was this gigantic blow-up suit. It was pretty great. Yeah, it's okay. Thanks, Anne, for clarifying. Okay, got it. The characters are from Donal's mind. I didn't catch that yesterday, but I love that you got to use that orangey colored dress for that. I love it. JT had a low this week, was going running on Monday. Wow, it was 36 degrees on Monday? I know it was cold this week, but I didn't realize how cold it was on Monday. Yeah. Or were you somewhere else, JT? Were you in the Boston area or were you somewhere else? I love the bubble concept. Yeah. Yeah, it was great. It was really funny. Alice, I would have loved to see you in some rendition of a cool bubble boy suit. Oh, it was on Friday. Okay, that makes sense, JT. I saw people out in Cambridge yesterday at 19 degrees running. Is this a Boston thing? You all crazy. Is this a Boston thing or is this a Cambridge thing? All right. You guys are crazy. Just kidding. You're not crazy, but 19 degrees running? Really? I'm very impressed. All right. Donal and Patrick, as is, I am so sorry I don't have the pictures for our story today. I'm happy to send the link. I wonder if I can put the link here in the chat, because then you guys could click it and look at it with me. Let's try that. I don't know if this will work, but let's try. And I don't know if it will even let me do that. Oh, it's long. Give me just a second. me see if I can shorten this link easily. Yeah, let me do that. All right, share a couple more highs and lows amongst yourselves while I shorten this link to see if I can get it to you. See if that works. It should open up as an All Saints Day mini book. Let me go ahead and do our bell. It's a way that we kind of take a breath. And if you want to put your hand out, and when you can no longer hear the bell, as is our practice, you can point your thumb up. All right. So it sounds like Anne was able to get the link to work, I think. So hopefully others of you will be able to see that as well. Before we do that little activity together, today we're going to talk about a special day in the church calendar. It's often called All Saints Day, and different churches might have different words that they'll use. I think you all can do a little scavenger hunt and click the bulletin link when you go to church the service at 10:30, and you can see on the front of the bulletin what Reverend Matt calls this day. I'm fairly certain, I will bet, having not actually looked at it yet, I will bet that it says the liturgy for All Saints Day or something along those lines. Matt, don't tell us. We'll go look for it. Donal and Patrick, that is your task, to find out what Reverend Matt calls today on the front of the bulletin. All right. Let's take a few minutes to talk about what exactly a saint is. If you want to share, oh, the link worked. Great. If you want to share, I would love to hear, especially from Patrick and Donal, but others as well, what a saint is. There are two conceptions. Yes. There are two conceptions of saints that I'm working with today. But what do you think a saint is? Have you heard this word used before? How do you understand a saint? All right. Well, while I'm waiting to hear what you guys understand, how you understand saints, I'm going to use two definitions today. One is a more formal category within sort of like church circles, where they honor and recognize certain people from history, and they're sort of certified. They go through this sort of series of really thoughtful committees and things to really think about who are the saints in our churches. Why do we honor them as saints? What about their lives makes them sort of special or set apart? And these often include saints that you already know, saints that are also listed in that little mini book I sent. St. Francis of Assisi is one that St. James's likes to talk about a lot. Oh, St. James's, there you go. There's another one. St. Teresa of Avila is one that the church school has talked a lot about as well. There's another use for this word saint also. Yeah, Alice, that's a great definition. I think that definitely aligns, Alice, with what we're talking about here. A person who likes God or a person of God. That's also a great answer. And that is kind of the second use of the term that we'll be talking about today, where saints are also ordinary people, just like you and me, who love God and are trying our best to live lives of faith and lives that are honoring God. And so you have people in your life around you who are saints, that are sort of everyday people, just like you and I. And we're going to talk more about both of those categories in just a minute. This time of year things are getting darker, the leaves turn brown and they fall off the trees, it snows, plants die, and they go back into the soil, waiting for next spring. And so this is also the time of year that are no longer, the ones that are no longer alive with us today. All Saints' Day is a time where we remember those very saints in our lives. Like sometimes it might be grandparents or other friends and family who are no longer alive today. And it also could be people who are still alive and around you today. It's also a time, it's a special day that we've set aside, the church, sort of we, in that sense, set aside a time where we can thank God for those saints in our lives, reflecting on what we've learned from them, and maybe acting more like them as we go forward today. So in our time of discussion, I want to take a look at that link I sent you. And for those who maybe can't open the link or it's not working or whatever, it's called All Saints Day. It's a mini book. And there are 3 saints pictured. The first is St. Patrick. It's a saint who it describes him as a saint who used a shamrock to teach others about the Blessed Trinity. I'll be honest, these are a little bit on the caricature-y side, but I think there is some truth here, and at least it's a starting point for us to talk about these saints. All right. So he used the shamrock to talk about and understand the Blessed Trinity, the shamrock, which is the 3-leafed clover. This book is asking you to think about how you can also teach others about who God is. Let me close my door. Hold on. In your lives. So I want you to take a quick moment. I've lost track of the chat here. I apologize. Yeah, you guys know about St. Patrick. Excellent. What are some ways that you can teach others about who God is also? The other way I want you to think about St. Patrick today is perhaps there's someone in your life who is a lot like St. Patrick was. Maybe there's someone in your life who you feel teaches you things, someone who you enjoy learning from. And I want you to, if that is the case, the other way you can think about this question or this activity is somebody in your life who is like St. Patrick. All right. So ways that you might want to be like St. Patrick, or people in your life who are like St. Patrick. Make sense? All right. I hope this is making some sense. Would love to hear Oh, yeah, I'm sure the Dwelmers know St. Patrick because you have a Patrick who could be understood as a saint in your very lives. All right, so the next category, the next person, is St. Nicholas. This is also one that St. James's knows well. It is the patron saint of children. He gave gold coins to a family in order to help them in their time of need. And we can also help others too. So again, you can think about what are the ways that you can act like St. Nicholas in your own life, or who in your life maybe functions like a St. Nicholas, who is somebody who has helped you, who has given to you when you needed something. And I'd love to hear more about that. I don't know that we'll get through all of these in our discussion, but I would like to hear from Patrick and Donal if there are people in your lives who are like these saints. The third saint is a picture of St. Margaret. She's a saint who was the Queen of Scotland. She gave food and clothes to people who were poor. And in a similar way, you can give to others too. So what are the ways that you can give to others today, right now? You might have to be a little extra creative. You might have to think outside the box a bit. But how can you be like St. Margaret and give to others? I hope I didn't lose you all. I see the chat has died down. So either you're thinking and discussing, or I lost you. Perhaps there's someone in your life who is a lot like St. Margaret, who has given to you in a time or a moment of need. I think this can also be really simple things like, needing a piece of gum or something when somebody needs something. So Patrick thinks, our Patrick, our friend Patrick here, thinks St. Nicholas reminds him of Santa Claus. Yeah, I think that's a good connection because a lot of people have made a similar association, Patrick. And, Santa Claus is kind of a caricature of giving to kids in a season. So in some ways, he's our understanding of St. Nick, potentially, or at least somebody could think about Santa that way. Yeah, are there other saints in your lives? Maybe everyday people who are like these saints, who teach people. Are there everyday saints in your lives who help people? Or are there saints in your lives who give to people? I found some mints given to me by Curtis in my winter coat. Right. Oh, that's so lovely, actually. That's very sweet. And I'm sure it's sort of fun to think about a friend, that you hadn't thought about maybe as much since, last winter or something. Sort of a lovely moment. Yeah. I think the three characteristics, I'll just reiterate one more time, the three characteristics we're looking at in these saints. One is, are there saints in your lives who teach you? Are there saints in your lives who help you? And are there saints in your lives who give to you? Yeah, being in church together, definitely. Yeah, definitely. And if you think you've identified some people in your own lives, I also want to ask, how can you be like these saints? How can you teach others? How can you help others? How can you give to others? Reverend Matt says he thinks of his grandfather who helped build environmentally friendly buildings before people generally thought about that sort of thing. Yeah, wow, cool. Matt, I am assuming your grandfather isn't with us anymore, but that's a really neat thing. Was that in the Boston area or somewhere else? Yeah. So Matt's grandfather died, and he is somebody who worked on in other parts of the country. Cool. He's somebody who worked on caring for the earth in a way that was kind of new and out of the box at the time. And there is a saint that you all may recall in the last few weeks that we talked about in our church community that also did this. Cared for the earth in sort of peculiar ways. Do you guys remember who that saint was? Marion's, when she was a little kid, there was a man at her church who would give each child a stick of gum to chew during the church. Yeah, if they got there early. Yeah, that's so fun. Research Triangle Park. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Cool. Marion, it's a small gesture, but it can make somebody feel really included. It can make somebody feel seen. It's a small thing. Don't we have, mints. Yeah, Anne mentioned the mints already. Aaron, that reminds, yeah, exactly. Yep, Matt, me too. So Donal and Patrick, are there ways that you feel you can teach others? Are there ways that you can help others? Are there ways that you can give to others? And it might be, here's a hint, it might be somebody in your family. Maybe not. It could be someone outside your family, but it might be someone in your family, especially during quarantine time. Yes, JT. Ding, ding, ding. Good job. St. Francis of Assisi is sort of our capital S saint about capital S saint in terms of caring for the earth and caring for animals. And Matt's grandfather is sort of our lowercase s, but very much an equal saint who cared for the earth in the ways that he did. Yeah, Anne has some ideas. I'm sure she does. That Patrick might, or maybe Patrick and Donal chose these. Patrick says that he might help Donal with his clothes, or Patrick might help his dad with the laundry. Yes, awesome. Yes. Yeah, Patrick chose that. What a great idea. Those are great ideas. I want to make sure I wrap up everything here. I'm glad that link worked for you all. And I'm just going to close by suggesting that you are welcome to continue typing in the chat some ideas that you have around saints, because today is our All Saints Day. I want to remind Patrick and Donal that you have a little scavenger hunt if you want. I'm encouraging you to search around for the link of the church bulletin and find out what Reverend Matt calls this day and what our congregation calls this day. On the front of the bulletin, you probably will see a phrase that says something like the liturgy for, and then the name of today. And I want to leave you with a benediction. So thank you all for joining in, and the chat froze. All right, Patrick shows that. Cool. And Donal, I want to share this out loud and do a shout out real quick. Donal is going to help Patrick put his clothes and his boots on. What a way to help, Donal. I love it. So friends, may the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord's face shine upon you and be gracious to you all the days of your life. Through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen.